rid of it, or you can tuck it underneath your t-shirt. Now you do a curl up, you lift up, look at the tennis ball, and then inhale, lower back down. So the idea here is to lift your head and your shoulders up within a range that the tennis ball doesn't bob up and down. You want to feel like the tennis ball is staying really flat, drawing down towards your spine. And then into obliques. So lift one shoulder blade off. You lift and then lift the other shoulder blade off. Exhale, lift and rotate. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift and rotate. Inhale, lower. The lower back stays motionless, the pelvis stays motionless. Now put your hands in a diamond around the tennis ball, keeping the belly flat. We're doing knee floats. Lift one knee up, followed by the other. Breathe into pause, breathe out to place one leg down, followed by the other. The challenge here is to lift your legs up without the tennis ball bobbing up and down, and without flattening or lifting your lower back. So you're pivoting around the hip sockets here whilst keeping the lower ribs, the lower back very still. Breathing into the ribs, keeping the belly firm. Supine leg lift. Hands are behind your head, elbows are out wide, the legs are straight. The legs are apart, you lift your head and your chest up square to your hips. You lift one leg straight up, one leg straight down. Imagine you had skis on, okay, and the skis are going straight up and straight out the width of your pelvis. Fantastic for your obliques, for the lower abdominals. Breathe out to lift with length, breathe in to lower with length. Breathe out to lift with length. It's quite challenging to keep the pelvis really stable and avoid rocking to the side that the leg is lifting. So you've got to really use your obliques to stay aligned. So now arms up to the ceiling, knees up into tabletop. We're going into hundreds prep. You're going to lift up, arms down, keep the hands up above your greater trochanter, and then you're just pausing here. And like the abdominal and navel to spine breathing that we did at the beginning of the class, keeping the belly contracted on the inhale, deepen the contraction on the out breath. Feel the ribs widen, the shoulder blades widen, and then exhale, inside thighs, tummy are working. If your neck gets sore, grab hold of the back of your head, fully interlace the hands behind your head so you can really relax the front of your neck, allowing the weight of your head to rest into your hands, but keeping the lift up. So this is all about staying lifted. The shoulder blades are off, the elbows are reaching out away from the joints, so your shoulders are wide at the back. And then place one leg down, follow the other, followed by the other, and then lower the head down. So grab the triad ball or the Pilates ball or a cushion. Single leg stretch. We're with our hands pressing against our thighs, so make sure you're in a neutral position, and then push your hands into your thighs into your hands, straighten your other leg, and then switch. Push, push, reach, draw the belly in, and then return. Inhale. Exhale, press, press, reach, keep exhaling. Inhale, and then scoop the belly in on the out breath, and then return. Breathe in, breathe out, press, press, reach, breathe in, breathe out, draw the belly, reach the leg away. You should feel a bit of a quiver here. I like to think of pushing the thigh muscle up towards the knee there, so you get this beautiful tractioning of the thigh bone out of the hip. Up, up, scoop and lengthening out away from the pelvis. The tummy's lifting up, the thigh bones are reaching out, creating space in your body. Pushing the hands against the thighs are pressing against the hands, and then you draw the belly in, deep abdominal connection. Breathe in to pause there, and then breathe out, draw the tummy even and flatter, and then return. Place one leg down, followed by the other. Lying on your stomach, we're going into swan dive prep. The legs are apart in external rotation, the pubic bone is pressing into the mat. The hands are sort of in line with the face or the neck or the shoulders, depending on your spine. So you lift your chest up and then you lift up, arching back. So this is a mobility exercise. So press down, lead with the chest as you reach forward and up. And then as you lower your elbows down, lengthen through the crown of the head and down on the mat between your hands there. So it's a very small lift. You're lifting your chest off but keeping the ribs down. Feel your shoulder blades laterally rotate as you lift and return. So your armpits are pulling down and towards the mat. Your legs are reaching out away from your hips, feeling that length out through your thighs. We're trying to target around the mid-back muscles. Co-contracting the belly as well, tummy and mid-back. Reaching the breastplate forward and up helps you get that length out of your pelvis as the legs reach in the opposite direction. Keeping the shoulder blades wide, the tips of your shoulder. And then we're going into dart. So your arms are down, palms are up. You lift your chest, keep your ribs down, palms face the floor. And then you return internally rotating. Rotating the head from one ear to the other. Now here, glutes, hamstrings are activated, tummy is scooping up. And then the lower shoulder blades are anchoring the scapula down. You want the tips of the shoulders going from a wide position to a V position, really externally rotating the humerus bone, the arm bones, the top of the arm bones. Mid-back, tummy, legs, lengthen. Trying to lengthen the back of your body and the front of your body as you do thoracic extension. And now into big squeeze. Press the heels, the calves, the inside thighs, the buttocks. Squeeze your glutes super duper duper hard. You can have a little poke, make sure your buttocks is engaged. It's amazing. Like when I give this to clients, they think they're squeezing their bum, and then they go to have a little poke. One butt cheek might be engaged, the other one's totally disengaged. So use your hands. Press into your glutes to feel that connection, to feel that contraction. So the toes are together and then you draw the heels together, the calves, the inside thighs. Now pinch your buttocks super duper hard like you're trying to leave an impression of your pubic bone down into the mat. The tummy is lifting up. There's a real sense of elongation through your legs as you do this. And now into a prone leg lift. So the legs are sit bone width apart. You're lifting and lowering the leg, keep the thigh engaged, so suck the kneecap up, and you're pivoting around the hip socket. It doesn't matter how high the leg goes, it's more about the length and the stretch out and up. Keeping the glutes engaged throughout is the challenge, keeping them activated the whole time, using the buttocks and the back of the legs to open the front of the hips. Pubic bone is pressing down as the leg reaches out. Long leg lifts, bottom knee in a chair position, knee in line with hip, underneath side lifted. Right leg is out in line with your hip, internally rotated. So toe on the floor, heel up. You lift the leg up and then lower it back down, just up to about hip height. So imagine there's a skewer going through the front of your hip socket, out the back of your pocket, and you're pivoting the thigh up and down from that point. And now into side kick. Keep the foot in line with the hip, that's the challenge here. Flex the foot, point the foot. Thigh muscle strong, glute and hamstring. Thigh engaged, and then bottom engaged. Keep the foot in line with the hip, don't let it drop down. And then into power circles, so you're going to circle the heel around, 6 in one direction, 6 in the other. You go up, back, down and forward around the hip height. It's like a cone shape. The hip being the tip and the heel circling the perimeter of the cone. Our target area is the outside hip muscle. Now stay on that side and do side lifts. Your legs are slightly forward of your body, so if you were to look down at your toes, you could see them from where you are lying. Breathe out to lift, breathe in to lower. It's like the bottom leg is lifting the top leg. Keep that underside lifted as best you can, so you're reaching the feet away and up. Inside thighs are working hard. Now we'll do those 3 exercises on the other side. So long leg lift, knee in line with the hip, underneath side lifted, toe down, heel up. You're going to lift the foot and then lower it back down. I like to think of an image like a tin of paint, and you're just trying to tap the big toe into the tin of paint to keep that internal rotation to get into glute med and min. And now, foot in line with the hip, flex the foot, side kick. A little kick forward and reach it back. Thighs, sucking the kneecap up. The thigh muscle is strong. Point the toes, squeeze the back of the leg. Front of the leg working, and then the back of the leg. Keep the foot in line with the hip. One more. Doesn't matter how big the range is. And then we go into power circles, drilling a hole with that heel out. Through the heel, through the wall. Nice even circle. Think back of the leg, outside leg, back of the leg, outside leg. Reaching, reaching, reaching out. Is off. So just hover the knees, just up off the floor there, like it's just a little matchbox space underneath your knees. So breathing in wide into your ribs, and then breathing out, draw your belt in and up. Keep that connection, lower ribs, mid ribs, upper ribs. And then exhale, press your shoulder blades wide, press into your hands. Breathing in, lower ribs, mid ribs, upper ribs. Pelvic floor, navel to spine, draw your corset in. Keep that deep connection as you feel the movement of your ribs as the lungs fill and empty. Stay there, one breath at a time. Then we've got a kneeling hip flexor stretch in neutral. So you're kneeling up, have your hip above your knee, buttocks contracted, hamstring drawing down, tummy engaged, lifting up and out of your pelvis, balancing out the front of your hip by engaging the back of the hip and lifting up out of your tummy. Press the back foot into the floor and then lunge forward. So you can place the right hand on the outside of your right foot, or if you need to, put your right hand on the inside of your right foot, pressing both feet down into the floor. The left buttocks is contracted. The left knee is down on the floor, but it's almost like you're trying to lift the left knee off. You're breathing in a way that's creating space in the front of the hip, creating space and opening in the hip socket. The shoulders are neutral, and then lunging forward, wiggle the foot forward. Hands down either side of the foot, either hands on the outside of the foot, or you can put the left hand on the inside of the foot, and then push your feet down, push your right foot down into the mat like you're trying to lift your right knee off, but keep it on the floor. Glute engage, shoulders down. Finishing off, THERABAND squats. Squat back and then standing up. Inhale, lower, exhale, return. Keep the neck in line with the sacrum, the back of the head in line with the sacrum. Squat down so your hips lower down in line with your knees.